Hello and welcome back to Mrs. Hood's Art Room. Today we are going to be making toilet paper sculptures, and it is one of those projects that's pretty easy to do because it's just toilet paper and water. That's it. That's all you have to use to make a toilet paper sculpture. Now I did this little snail earlier today. He is still not completely fused together. As it dries, it will fuse itself together and you don't have to use any glue or anything at all. Now, I will say that this softer type toilet paper, like I'm using, I think this is a Sherman brand, it tends to take a little bit longer to fuse just because it's got softer fibers to it. But if you can get the cheaper toilet paper, it actually works even better because it fuses a lot quicker and stronger, I believe. Okay, so here's how we're gonna do this. So what I do is I usually start off with about 4 or 5 squares, and what that will do is that'll give us a base. So I'm gonna make a little turtle for today's base, and you can see the bottom of this is the base. You can see where I started it, where it's not quite fused yet, but that's where I started the base, and it goes back to here. And then I made the coil separate along with the head separate, and then I added them together and kind of mummied it together. So I'm gonna lay him down like that so you guys can see him better. All right, so when you do this, you're just gonna take the toilet paper and kind of fold it over to where it gives you a base for whatever you're making. So like I said, I'm gonna make a little turtle. So I'm going to take just the water, and I use a flat paintbrush, but you can use any paintbrush that you want. I like the flat because it's easier to spread with, and this size brush, it's kind of a medium flat. It holds enough water without making it soppy, but it gets the job done. So just kind of put a little bit of water on here. Just make it to where it's like starting to stick together without being super, super wet. We can flip it over, give it a little bit of water on that side, and after you get a little bit of water on, then you can start doing a little bit of forming. Now, a turtle has more of a curved oval kind of shape to it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take this and just kind of fold in these corners and just kind of go around to make it more roundish. And as I go around there, you can see we're kind of getting a little bit of a turtle shape now. Okay. Now this is going to be the inside of the turtle. That way the bottom, see, is pretty smooth that way. Okay, move him up a little bit so we can see better. All right, so now I've got the base. So now I'm going to take some more toilet paper, and again, I'm pulling off about, let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces this time. And this time I'm just kind of wadding it, just kind of making a ball, okay? Because this is going to be for the shell. Okay, so this is going to come in right in here. All right, so I've got that part ready for the shell, and I can go ahead and take some toilet paper. And again, this one is about 4, and I'm going to split it in half. So I'm just kind of tearing it down the middle like this. And then I'm going to lay it out, and we're going to kind of mummy it to the turtle base. So kind of set that right there. Whoops, got that one in the bowl. All right, okay. So now I'm gonna take my water, kind of get things wet on top. And when I say wet, it's really just damp. We don't want it to get too wet, because when you get it too wet, it's hard to control it. And I like things that's a little bit easier to control whenever I'm working with sculpture. So I'm just kind of getting that around. Now then I'm going to take this up, pull it around, and I'm going to kind of fashion it to that top. Kind of mummy this around here. Okay, and again, just getting those edges. And those edges will smooth or will dry out and it'll stick to it just fine. The little fibers in the toilet paper is what fuses it together. Okay, I'm getting that going pretty good. All right, now we want to be able to get the legs and the head and the tail in there pretty quickly because if we don't, then it's going to be hard to put them in after we get the shell on. So I'm taking part of this one that I split, and I'm just going to kind of roll this into kind of our little leg. This is going to be a little leg here that we'll put in. And I'm just going to kind of stuff that inside that mummy part that I put in. So kind of grab that and attach it like this. Now, if I need to, I can always take a little bit and put around this area with the toilet paper if I feel like I need to. But it really holds pretty well, so it'll probably be okay. And I'll show you how you can go ahead and kind of create these little shapes, kind of like what I did with the eyes on the little snail. You just get it wet, and then you can take and kind of pinch it. So I can kind of pinch and kind of tear that a little bit to make, we're gonna make 3 little toenails here. I know they have more than 3, but for sake of time, I'm just gonna do 3. So we have 3 little toenails for our little turtle, and that will kind of create that little foot, okay? And I'm not gonna do all of the turtle today because I know you're gonna wanna get going on yours. So I'm gonna I took this, for the head, I took 3, and I'm gonna kind of fold it together, and let's see here. I think that'll work for the head. Hopefully it's not too big for the head. I'm just gonna stuff that in there. Okay, and again, just get it good and damp. And as I get it wet, I'm just kind of thinking about what I need to do to shape it. So for this little head, they kind of have a little point, kind of a little pointy nose. So you can kind of get that little point on there for that little turtle. And let's see here. And then that neck. And their necks are kind of wrinkly anyway, so honestly, kind of the wrinkles in the toilet paper kind of adds to that. So we can kind of keep that the same way. And kind of create that head. So there's the head. Now right in here, I really want to get that shell to stand out a little bit more, so I'm going to get a little bit more toilet paper. Did 3 on this one. Fold it in half. Fold it in half again. And I'm going to put this on. This is going to go around right here, so it kind of creates that right around the neck. And then it should also help kind of go right there along the side of that foot too. So like I said, I'm only doing the 1 foot and the head today just so that you guys can get going on this. But all it is just simply taking that brush and just brushing it over to get it damp. And then once it's damp, you just start forming it. Okay, now back here it's a little long. And the great thing about toilet paper is you get it wet, and then once it's good and wet, you can take it and just kind of tear it off. Nice and easy like that. So I can kind of get that around for that shell. I can bend that like I did on that base to curve it. And that will work pretty well for getting that turtle. So now, he's still not finished, of course, And before you finish any of it, whenever you're all done, I should say, you're going to take your brush and cover it all with the water. And what that will do is that will cause that toilet paper to start hardening, and it will be surprisingly hard when it's all done. It's crazy how hard it gets. Makes you think what it's doing to the pipes in your house. But here's my little toilet paper turtle. Started out here. And of course you can create anything you want with this. Have fun with it. And I'm excited to see what you come up with. All right, this is your assignment for this week. Have fun.